close each one of these public hearings too. Time is it? 7, go. Ready?
All right, let's start the regular meeting of the Council of the City of Ottawa, April 21st, 2026. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Here.
Gainier.
Here.
Pearson. Here. Barron.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
We have 5 present.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that the minutes of a regular meeting of the Council of the City of Ottawa, Illinois, held on Tuesday, April 7th, 2026, and the minutes of a special meeting held on Friday, April 10th, 2026, both be approved as recorded in the permanent files of the city clerk.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Gainier, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Is there anyone wishing to appear before the council? All right. If not, we will move to the first public hearing, which is operating budget for the fiscal year 2027. I was told that Don is going to be discussing that. So apparently it's an easy, yeah. Well, we'll let Commissioner Eichelkraut start then. How about that?
Okay, first of all, I just want to let everybody know that the budget is balanced. I want to thank everybody for all the time it took and the due diligence. I think it worked out pretty good. Actually, we got it done relatively in a short amount of time, if you think about it. So I'm going to turn this over to Don.
Yeah, just a few highlights I pointed out. As Commissioner Eichelkraut noted, the budget is balanced, general corporate fund, with both revenues and expenses at approximately $29,500,000. I looked there, property tax makes up in the budget makes up 11.6% of the revenues in the general fund. Sales tax 34.7%. So between the two, 46.3. Overall, when you include all of our other funds, good. Yep, thanks. Overall, with all of our other funds, there is a deficit there that we're going to cover out of reserves. Total revenues there are almost $86 million. Expenses slightly above $87 million. Deficit of $1 million, call it $1.3 million, which we've got reserves to be able to cover that. And then going back to general corporate, our revenue projections this year were 3.7% more than they were in last year's budget, and the expenses on general corporate were 2.3% more than last year. And expenses overall for the entire city, 4.5%, including all of our funds.
Any questions from council? Any questions from the public? All right, then we can close this public hearing at 7:03.
Okay.
Then we have another public hearing, which I believe, Dave Noble? Are you? Calvin. Oh, Calvin, okay. Oh, for two.
Thank you for the introduction. There we go. Good evening, everyone. My name is Calvin Croy, and I'm here with NCICG. Now, I'm here at this hearing in accordance with Section 10-5 of the Rivers Edge Redevelopment Zone Act here. And the purpose is to gather public input and discuss the potential establishment of the Rivers Edge Redevelopment Zone here within the city. For the legal record, this public hearing has been properly noticed in accordance with the state requirement. It was published in the Times in the proposed zone area, which you can see behind me here is basically the entirety of Ottawa. No more than 20 days and not less than 5 days prior to today's date. Now, the purpose of this hearing is threefold. To consider whether the city should establish a Rivers Edge redevelopment zone, to discuss the proposed boundaries of the zone, and to review potential local plans, tax incentives, and programs that might be implemented in connection with the zone. To those unfamiliar of what a Rivers Edge redevelopment zone program is, it is a state of Illinois initiative designed to encourage economic development, historic preservation, and the revitalization of riverfront communities. Designation as a RERZ city, or Rivers Edge redevelopment zone, allows the city to access and offer a variety of incentives, including but not limited to state and local tax incentives, sales tax exemptions, and building materials, and other redevelopment tools aimed at attracting investment and supporting local businesses. Most importantly, though, it would be the historic tax credits and the building materials sales tax exemptions. Thank you. Now, at this time, I will provide an overview of the proposed River's Edge zone here. It includes area all along the Illinois River here, as you can see. No, kind of get out of your guys' way just so you can see it. Most of the downtown area, as well as most of the adjacent neighborhoods, and going all the way out to I-80. And there are also maps over there with a little more, that are a little more clear. Now, as part of this proposal, the city is considering a range of redevelopment strategies and incentives, which may include targeting redevelopment of underutilized or vacant properties, support of historic preservation projects, infrastructure improvements, and potential local tax incentives. These, of course, are all aligning with the city's broader economic development goals. So at this time, I'll just go to you guys for public comment, where we welcome input on the creation of the zone, the boundaries, or any suggested plans, incentives, or programs associated with the zone. If anyone has any questions, please. And all out at once. Okay. Now, if there are no public comment, then I will close this portion of the hearing. And I would just like to thank everyone who had attended and participated tonight. All the comments received, so many, will be considered as the city evaluates the proposed River's Edge redevelopment zone. Following this hearing, the city will take further action regarding the establishment of the zone and the associated redevelopment plans. And that is all I have to say on the matter. Thank you very much.
One thing that I will add to that is that these River's Edge zones are very limited by the state of Illinois, so the fact that we were even selected to be able to do this is a pretty good accomplishment. If you want to look at some of the other communities that have been awarded in the past and what it's done to them, you can look at downtown Rockford. It's a really good example of the renovation of those downtown buildings around the civic center that they have there. So hopeful in getting this approved and through and start adding to the development we've already got. Any other comments? No. Close at 7:07. And then we can move on to Commissioner Eichelkraut's report.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that the biweekly salary payroll of April 10th, 2026, in the amount of $661,547.82 be approved and warrants issued.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Pearson, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that the bi-monthly expense report dated April 21st, 2026, showing expenses in the amount of $829,480.67 be approved and warrants issued.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Barron, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that the monthly financial report of City Clerk Shelley L. Rolson for the month of March 2026 be received and placed on file.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Gainier, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an employment agreement with William Thompson as NCAT Dispatch Supervisor be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Pearson,
This is replacing somebody that retired.
roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Number 5 is lined out, so we'll move on to the next one. Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that an ordinance adopting the operating budget for the fiscal year commencing May 1st, 2026, which has been on file for public inspection since April 10th, 2026, be passed and approved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Barron. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Is there anything you'd like to add, Commissioner Eichelkraut?
Yeah, I just had music in the park. Everything's set and ready to go. Hopefully the summer gets here real quick so we can enjoy it and have a great time. There are some cards out, so They're here, we have them here, they got them at the visitor center. So if anybody wants one of them, we'll be passing them out after the first night, so.
It's always a good time. On to Commissioner Gainer's report.
Moved by Commissioner Gainer that a resolution authorizing the execution of a statement of work between the City of Ottawa and iOS for the Police Department's promotional testing, which has been on file for public inspection since April 7th, 2026, be adopted.
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Eichelkraut. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainer.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Gainer that a resolution authorizing the execution of a subscription agreement between the City of Ottawa and Leads Online LLC for the Police Department's investigative software, which has been on file for public inspection since April 7th, 2026, be adopted.
Take a second.
Second.
Commissioner Pearson. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainer.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Gainer that a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement between the City of Ottawa and Northern Illinois Ambulance Billing Incorporated, which has been on file for public inspection since April 7th, 2026, be adopted.
Take a second.
Second.
Commissioner Barron. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainer.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Gainer that a resolution authorizing the execution of a master lease purchase agreement between the City of Ottawa and PNC Bank National Association for the new Pearson Forcer pumper fire truck and equipment, which has been on file for public inspection since April 10th, 2026, be adopted.
Take a second.
Second.
Commissioner Eichelkraut.
This is for a fire truck that we ordered approximately 5 years ago. It's finally coming in and finally built, so now they really want us to pay for it. What? No, not in it. Well, yeah, the first payment doesn't start for a year. Correct. And then 12 years? Correct. 12-year payback kind of helps the budget that way.
Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainer.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Commissioner Gainer, anything you'd like to add?
I do. I want to commend the Ottawa Fire Department for their very quick and efficient response to the fire and explosion at Coogee Chemical this morning. I also want to commend the Ottawa Police Department for their quick response and for the very effectively managing access to the scene. And the Ottawa telecommunicators also deserve accommodation for effectively handling the call volume that accompanies incidents such as this one. The call came in at approximately 7:58 a.m. this morning. The first fire apparatus arrived on the scene at 8:06 a.m. The first arriving company were greeted by Coogee employees and informed of 2 injuries. The injured employees were removed from the building, given medical treatment by our paramedics, and transported to OSF St. Elizabeth for further treatment. The first patient arrived at OSF at 8:13 a.m. and the second at 8:25 a.m. Overall, very quick responses. The fire department quickly assessed the scene and determined that there was no danger to the public or surrounding businesses. However, out of precaution, the area businesses were asked to have their employees shelter in place. Due to the fire department's aggressive inspection program, the firefighters were well aware of the dangers of the product, magnesium, produced at the plant. They were also able to quickly assess the situation and contain the fire to the area of the building where it started. There were no injuries to fire department personnel. The fire was under control at 8:14 a.m. Due to the very hazardous nature of a magnesium fire, the Memphis hazmat team and several other fire departments were called in. I wish to thank the hazmat team, which is made up of members of various departments from the area. I also wish to thank the following agencies for their quick response and assistance: Marseilles Fire Department, Marseilles Ambulance, Bay Plate Fire Department, Utica Fire Protection District, Streeter Fire Department, the Illinois Department of Transportation, and Illinois OSHA.
I would just echo your sentiment in regards to all the different emergency services, and it's a good sign when something tragedy like this happens, and you get an inpouring of positive comments as to the response and dedication of the services that we're doing it. So, great job to everyone involved, and thank you for your service. All right, on to Commissioner Pearson's report.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson that a resolution authorizing the execution of a proposal for construction engineering services by Chamberlain and Associates Incorporated for the Main Street Bridge repairs, which has been on file for public inspection since April 7th, 2026, be adopted.
Second,
Second.
Commissioner Gainer.
So this, number 1 and number 10, this is for maintenance for the Main Street Bridge. They are just going to replace parts of the deck, beam seats, correct? And some of the joints. So It will be maintenance, and then number 10, we're going to request for the bid, so.
Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson that a resolution authorizing the execution of a maintenance proposal with Marseille Sheet Metal Incorporated for the Fire and Police Department facilities be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Aaron? Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson that the low bid received from Gillen Construction in the amount of $631,915 for the 2026 curb replacement project be approved and paid for from the general corporate fund.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Gainier?
This bid actually came in under what the engineer had originally thought, so.
Woo-woo.
All right, win. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson that the quote received from Marseille Sheet Metal Incorporated to replace the coil condenser at the IVCC satellite building be accepted, approved, and paid for from the general corporate fund.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Eichelkraut? Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson that the quote received from Reese Construction to repair the sidewalk on the entire north side of the Central Life Building in the amount of $55,311 be accepted, approved, competitive bidding be waived, and paid for from the general corporate fund.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Barron? One thing I will add on this is, because it's been barricaded around for a while, is that we were told that we could not touch it until all the insurance companies had a chance to look at it. And then as soon as they looked at it, they told us it was an emergency and it had to be replaced yesterday.
Yeah.
So, so that's what we're trying to do. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson that a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement between the City of Ottawa and the State of Illinois Department of Transportation for the U.S. Route 6 Fox River Bridge Replacement Project be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eichelkraut?
So, this is for replacement of the Fox River, and I believe the state of Illinois are gonna open up the bids on the 4th. Friday? Okay, on this Friday, so. I have a lot of the 4th in my brain for some reason. So they'll be opening up the bids this Friday, and then obviously the rest, the next few are all about replacing those.
Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson that a resolution appropriating $1,742,918 of city funds for the Fox River Bridge Replacement Project be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Gainier? Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson that an ordinance regulating parking on U.S. Route 6 over the Fox River east of the intersection of Champlain Street be passed and approved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eichelkraut? Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson that an ordinance regulating an encroachment on the public right-of-way in the city of Ottawa, LaSalle County, Illinois, in relation to the Fox River Bridge Replacement Project be passed and approved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Barron? Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson that the city clerk be authorized to advertise for bids for the Main Street Bridge Rehabilitation Project. Bids will be received until Tuesday, May 12th, 2026 at 10 o'clock a.m.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Gainier? Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Commissioner Pearson, is there anything that you'd like to add?
Nothing tonight.
On to Commissioner Barron's report.
Yes, he has one item of new business. Moved by Commissioner Barron that a resolution authorizing a loan agreement with the Illinois EPA Bureau of Water for the city's new wastewater treatment plant be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Eichelkraut?
We're marching towards that new plant, so this is part of the paperwork.
All right, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye,
Mayor.
Aye. Commissioner Barron, is there anything you'd like to add?
not tonight.
On to my report.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that a resolution authorizing the execution of a lease agreement between the City of Ottawa and Base Camp Create LLC for the Columbus and Jackson Street parking lot, which has been on file for public inspection since April 7th, 2026, be adopted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Pearson. I know I said this the last council meeting, but I'll repeat it, that this lease agreement is for the parking lot, the parking spots that will be in the alley area there. It's not for the entire parking lot. The city will still possess and occupy the majority of that parking lot. But this is for the former Woolworth building and base camp, and so that they have a place to do three-point turns and for a couple of their employees to have a place to park. So, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that a resolution accepting and executing a grant agreement between the City of Ottawa and the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity regarding the Ottawa Industrial Park water main be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Second.
Barron. This is a grant that was awarded to us recently. The governor announced it, I think, about a week ago, right? We had found out just a little bit before that. It's about $1.9 million, and as indicated, it's going to loop the industrial park and kind of tie in over on Canal Road. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that a resolution approving and authorizing an amendment to the employment agreement with Daniel Pine as Community Development Assistant be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eichelkraut. The one thing I'll say in regards to this is we knew that we needed a position that Dan had come in and filled, and he's done an exceptional job, and it's one of those situations where now that he's been with us for a year plus, you kind of wonder what we were doing before then. So he's done a magnificent job, and I think everyone agrees with that. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that a resolution amending Resolution 146-2023, which established an art committee in the City of Ottawa by increasing the number of members from 7 to 9, be adopted.
I get a second.
Second.
Commissioner Pearson. The main reason for this is that committee has really, they're a bunch of workers and doers, and they've developed within themselves a bunch of subcommittees, and they've got a whole slew of projects and art ideas that they've got coming along. And in order for them to be able to move forward on it, make sure that they can always have a quorum, they asked to increase up to the 9. And in talking with Tammy Coppin, we kind of thought that would be a good idea for them to do. So that was the reason for it. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that a resolution appointing a member to the art committee and Kaylee Martin, term to expire April 1st, 2029, be adopted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Barron, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that the request from the Ottawa Downtown Association to collect donations at the intersection of Norris Drive and Route 23 on Saturday, June 6, 2026, from 8 o'clock a.m. until 12 o'clock p.m. be approved, and the city departments involved be notified of the event.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Gainier, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. And we have a couple proclamations to read. The first one is for Motorcycle Awareness Month. Whereas safety on the highway and streets of our city and state is a top priority, and whereas motorcycles are an economical form of transportation that help reduce fuel consumption, road wear, and traffic congestion, and whereas it is important that all motorists remain aware of motorcycles on the roadway, ensure the road safety, and whereas ABATE of Illinois Incorporated continues to promote motorcycle safety, education, and awareness through public outreach and driver education programs across the state of Illinois, and whereas motorcyclists throughout Illinois contribute significantly to charitable and community organizations through volunteerism and fundraising, now therefore I, Mayor of the City of Ottawa, Illinois, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 as Motorcycle Awareness Month. In the City of Ottawa, and encourage all motorists and motorcyclists to work together to promote safety, awareness, and respect on our roadways. Proclaimed this 21st day of April 2026.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that a proclamation naming the month of May 2026 as Motorcycle Awareness Month in the City of Ottawa be adopted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Pearson? Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. We also have a proclamation for Arbor Day. whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are renewable resources, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are sources of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, I, Robert Hasty, Mayor of the City of Ottawa, Illinois, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the City of Ottawa, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. Proclaimed this 21st day of April 2026, Robert Hasty.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that a proclamation naming Friday, April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the City of Ottawa be adopted.
Second.
I was gonna, were you baiting
We were
people? Commissioner Barron, roll call?
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
I better vote for this one. Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Last but not least, we have Purple Up Day, which is whereas the American Legion, since its founding in 1919, has devoted much of its talent, effort, and resources to improving conditions for our nation's youth, and whereas the Americanism, children and youth programs of the American Legion provide settings that permit children to realize and to achieve their full potential, and whereas the American Legion and American Legion Auxiliary have labored unselfishly to achieve this goal through their untiring effort, dedicated leadership, and devotion to overriding principles of these benevolent programs, and whereas purple indicates the color of the military branches combined, Army green, Marine red, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Space Force blue, therefore we are asking all communities to honor military children on this day and wear purple to support military children. Therefore, I, Robert Hasty, Mayor of the City of Ottawa, Illinois, do hereby proclaim the 15th day of April 2026 as Purple Up Day. The American Legion family recognizes the military children under the Children and Youth Program for the entire month of April. Proclaim this 21st day of April 2026. Robert Hasty.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that a proclamation recognizing April 15th, 2026 as Purple Up Day in the City of Ottawa be adopted.
Second. Commissioner Eichelkraut. And I swear I had nothing to do with the purple. I read that in here. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Do you have any new business?
I don't have anything else to add. We will be going into executive session, and I do believe that there'll be business voted on afterwards, so we will pause.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that this council recess into closed session to discuss a matter of collective bargaining and a step 3 ASME grievance.
I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Gainier, roll call?
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. We'll be back, everyone.